have any coming up in the near future? Are you working on any?
Yes, 3 of them right now. So in September 19th in Newport, Rhode Island, we're doing a showcase. So we'll have about 20 of our members. We'll get up and just show each other what we can do. There'll be several hundred people there. But we do a little lottery to keep it fair, so that, because we can't have 200 people do 5 minutes. That would be like 7 hours long. So we pick a subset. And then we're doing then we have 2 production shows coming up where we cast the show and we produce it. So it's not just like an open mic or anything like that. And one's at Lincoln Center in December. And then the next one after that is our second appearance at Carnegie Hall next April. It was supposed to be last April, but, a little thing like a global pandemic happened.
Yeah.
It was postponed not once, but still weren't open this April in 21. So we got pushed out 2 years from when it was supposed to happen.
Well, you just had time to germinate and let the seed grow. I know how rough that is and how disappointing it is when you have something like that planned and a monkey wrench comes along and messes it all up. But we definitely look forward to those things, and I know John Bon Jovial is looking forward to getting back in here. So I guess I'll let him talk again. Go ahead, John.
well, sure. Now, Grant, I realize you're going to be doing these productions and shows in that little podunk town of New York City. But are you going to be venturing out of the big city there and coming down and seeing us small town folk? For example, I live in the Naples, Fort Myers area. David's out in Tempe, Arizona area.
Yeah, that little three-quarter town up there.
We would just absolutely love to sit in on a show if you're ever going to be touring down this way in the southeast or the southwest.
Yep. Well, I'm sure I will be. There's a few things I've had to push off, but I will do them, and probably in the fall, when everything's really, I hope by then, really opened up again. But I need to spend the next few months making more music videos, and I'm going to be doing that. In fact, that first song you played, Down To Hatchabee Road, is about river baptisms, which are a big thing in the South and in Appalachia in particular. And I'm going to go down to eastern Tennessee, and I'm going to, like I stood in the coal mine, I'm going to stand in a river, and there's going to be baptisms going on around me, and a real preacher from a church down there near Knoxville, and we're going to have us a good time, make a really cool video. I don't know how I'm going to talk that.
That's awesome.
That's going to be
that is awesome.
I still remember.
I love the concept.
I still remember Johnny Russell, the baptism of Jesse Taylor. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love it. That's a great idea. And do keep in touch on these things and let us know what's going on, and we'll help you spread the word there. Remember, my Facebook groups page, the David Bowers Awards on Facebook, is open to anyone connected with music in any way who wants to spread the word to more listeners. You can post directly there. You don't have to send a press release or anything. You've got something coming up you want to share, post it directly to that page. We'll pick it up and share it on our other social media pages. Right now, we want to get back to Appalachia, American Stories, and share another track. So tell us about the gas station chicken. This should be good.
Well, this is going to be a great video, too. I got to figure out how to do it. But if you drive around, particularly the southeast of the U.S., like I do a lot and have done a lot, you get to eating wherever you can eat sometimes, if you're between shows and that kind of thing. And there's a real thing in the southeast where you have a gas station and it has a little gift shop inside, not a gift shop, but like a convenience mart inside. And they also, many of them will have a little place where they're frying up chicken in the corner. And it's not some frozen thing that they stick into a microwave. We're talking about truly frying chicken from scratch, and batter and all the rest of that. And that is, you wouldn't believe it. You would not believe it, but it's some of the best fried chicken out there. And so I just thought it would be a fun song if I told a little story, wrote a little vignette about a guy who's starving and he wanders into one of these places that he's clearly been there before because he's got a crush on the girl the cashier that works in there, who also does the frying, by the way. So it's another toe tapping song like the first one you played. It's definitely Southern. Let's put it that way. But I think everybody can get a smile out of it and enjoy it.
Well, I couldn't help but flash on the fact that seems to me I remember a colonel who got started selling chicken the same way in a gas station somewhere down in the South. So, ladies and gentlemen, from American Stories, from Appalachia, American Stories, album by Grant Maloy Smith, here is Gas Station Chicken.
Sat down by the magazines and chips. She flashes me her hazel eyes above those ruby lips. I'm fairly scraping by, Lord, I'm about to die. Gas station chicken gonna help me get my pay. Oh, she loves me. Oh, Lord, she treats me right. Gas station chicken gonna taste real good tonight. Oh, that gas station chicken gonna taste real good tonight. 2 brown eggs, buttermilk and flour. She mixes it and double tips a true Bellows style. Cast iron pan, it's spitting like a cat. She says it's gonna take some time, so I might as well sit back. I wander to the freezer and I get a bowl of beer. She tells me that she's working and hey, get over here. Now I'm assistant cook at the Chiefsville dinner nook. Oh, look at me, Mom, a sous chef volunteer. Oh, she loves me. Oh, Lord, she treats me right. Gas station chicken gonna taste real good tonight. Oh, that gas station chicken gonna taste real good tonight. Chicken gonna taste real good tonight. Oh, that gas station chicken gonna taste real good tonight.
We're sitting here with Grant Maloy Smith and talking about and playing some tracks from his latest and greatest album, Appalachia, American Stories. And we're so happy to have you here with us today, Grant. It's been a pleasure. We've still got some more music coming, but I want to give you a little chance to do a little self-promotion and tell the folks about Grant Maloy Smith, how they can find you online, track down to get your music, of course, and contact you if they like to tell you how much they like your music.
Oh, great. Thank you, David. By the way, I'm hungry now that I heard that fried chicken song.
There's a lot of that going around.
Some fried chicken. Well, the best place to go actually is my website, and it's just, I use my 3 names, just like my mother was yelling at me in the past. Grant Maloy Smith, get over here. So if you go to Grant-Maloy, M-A-L-O-Y, there's just one L in my middle name, right. -smith.com. You'll see my website. You can watch videos. Of course, you can navigate to the Appalachia record if you want to, and you can see pictures. You can see everything that there is about me is linked there. All my social media is linked there too. So if you go to Grant-Maloy-Smith.com, if you put a slash and then the word Appalachia, just all lowercase, that'll go right to the record. But you can find it the normal way too, using the menus. But I'd appreciate everybody stopping by, say hello. There's a chat function on the website that only I see. So if you send me a message, I'm the only one who's going to see it, and you can tell me what you think about the record.
You were just doing an intro there to the website, but the segue from the chicken to the website, it's almost like, oh, you mean I can go to Grant-Maloy-Smith.com and order me some fried chicken.
You know, that's not a bad idea. I might have to get some different licenses to sell food, but I could sell a rubber chicken on my website, I suppose.
There you go.
I should mention that the record's available as an LP, and it comes with a book that I wrote about Appalachia in a box set. So for people that like to have a real thing to hold in their hands, that's what I've done. The liner notes, the book that I wrote, is really like liner notes on steroids. It's 40 pages I wrote. I spent years working on the content of it. And so each song, it's not just the lyrics and the credits, but it's about the history that leads up to that song in Appalachia. Like some of the coal mine stuff is quite elaborate. It has a lot of detail about the history and how mining was back in the day and how it is today. And all. I could go on and on. I won't, but there's a lot in there.
Well, actually,
so I want you
to go a little further. I want you to go a little further because I just had a thought as you were talking about, especially when the coal comes up, and of course, you know, with the way the climate of the country, and I don't mean I mean political climate, but also literal climate. You know, coal is not the darling that it used to be because of you know, showing basically proof that it is contributing to global warming. What is Appalachia like now, as far as that is concerned? What has happened to the economy? What has happened to people's lives now that the coal industry, I don't know, there's no better way to put it, now that the coal industry is dying?
Well, it's obviously been a long and slow transition. For example, we used coal to heat our homes until about World War II when we switched to oil. And at that moment, the requirement for coal was drastically reduced. So today we only use it for really two things generally. One is we use it for coal-fired power plants, although mostly we export coal for other countries to do that because we don't have a whole lot of coal-fired plants here anymore. And the other thing that it's used for, you know, if you reduce coal in a special process, you create coke, which is used for making steel. So we have to have some coal just to make steel, but you don't have to burn it like in the traditional way for power, energy, that kind of thing. We're never going to be without it completely. We just can't be. But to get to your real question, though, yeah, it's been a very difficult transition because, you know, when someone does coal mining their whole lives, or at least let's say half your life, and then they say we're closing the coal mine, then what do? That's really the only thing you know how to do. And you can't just say go become a programmer at the age of, you know, 50 years old when you've never even turned on a computer in your whole life, much less know how to program. So that's a challenge, and that's one of the challenges that Appalachia has, is making the transition from that industry and others like it that are transitioning or going away or changing in some, you know, dramatic way. I mean, we've seen this all over the country. The steel industry in Pittsburgh, for example, was once, you know, the skies were black with the smoke from the steel mills, and then that ended in the early 80s when all of a sudden steel was being bought from other countries, and our plants just closed down by the dozens. And it took them 35 years to turn around that economy in Pittsburgh to become one that was not relying on steel. And there are other examples all over the country. It's a tough challenge.
I often wonder and worry about the mindset and the mental health of people, because for example, I have never been through a transition like that. I've been on this planet for, well, more decades than I care to acknowledge, and I cannot imagine. Here I am, and I'll say it. I'm 70 years old. I cannot imagine, for the life of me, having to study and learn something that I've never ever done over something that I've done all my life, and now all of a sudden it can't happen anymore. So I worry about the people, not just in Appalachia, but up and as you put it, the steel areas of the country that are all of a sudden being forced out of a job, out of work. What are these people going to do? And it's like, there but for the grace of God go I. Right.
You know, and you mentioned mental health, and that is one of the topics that I cover on the record for example, people, but in particular, not just because of the industries going away, but because they live in those mountains and they've been isolated from so much of the